The moment she, as a new nurse, had rejected him, saying, "You're not on my level," he was devastated. Today, he stood in that very same hospital, a doctor, and in front of him was the same girl, her gaze now lowered with regret, her eyes testifying to a love she had thrown away. What happened next was something neither of them could have ever imagined. Fate played a game so cruel, and time spun a tale so intricate that this single moment became a mirror for every person who measures love by status. So friends, to know the whole story, you have to watch this video until the very last second. Friends, this story takes place in the bustling city of Chicago, where two young students, Ethan and Chloe, were studying side by side at a library preparing for the MCAT. Their dream was to become doctors, to live together, to have doctor before both their names, and to build a life together. They shared the same coffee during late-night study sessions, filled out their med school applications together, and after every practice exam, they would look into each other's eyes, searching for a glimpse of their shared dream. "We're both going to get in, right?" Chloe would ask. Ethan would smile. "Not just get in. We'll get married, too." But the pen of destiny can be ruthless. The first round of MCAT results came out. Ethan's name wasn't on the acceptance list. Chloe's wasn't either. But she pulled another letter from her purse. An acceptance letter to a prestigious nursing program she had applied to as a backup plan. Ethan had never even known she'd applied. That backup plan was about to change their path forever. A month later, Chloe was officially a nursing student. That evening, they met at the same park where they used to talk about their future. But that day, the place of their dreams became the site of Ethan's nightmare. With a coldness in her eyes and a sharp edge to her voice, Chloe said, "Ethan, I'm starting my nursing degree now. And you?" Ethan, though stunned, tried to smile. "I'll try again. I'll definitely get in next time." But Chloe was no longer the girl who used to draw hearts in his notebook. She now saw herself as above him. In a chilly tone, she said, "Ethan, you know I'm on a professional track now, and you're still right where you were. You couldn't even get into a backup program. I can't be part of a life like yours anymore." Ethan felt like he was frozen in time. "What do you mean?" Chloe laughed, a sound full of scorn. "It means, Ethan, that you're not good enough for me anymore. I'm going to be a nurse, and you're still just trying. If I marry you, you'll live off my money. You'll be a burden. A man who can't even manage his own life. How could he ever manage mine?" With that, Chloe stood up and walked away, her steps fast and determined, while Ethan felt like he couldn't breathe. He wanted to say something, but the words were stuck in his throat. When he got home and checked his phone, he saw that she had blocked his number. That night, when Ethan returned to his room, the walls felt silent, and the ceiling seemed to stare down at him, asking, "What will you do now?" He sat on his bed, turning his phone screen on and off, but her number remained blocked. The girl who was once his entire world had just shown him that he was a failure, and nobody loves a failure. That night, Ethan cried, not from his heart, but from his soul. And when the sun rose, the old, smiling Ethan was gone. The man who stood in his place was made of fire, and he had only one goal: to prove himself, not to her, but to himself. Ethan picked up his books, the same old worn-out notes, gathered the scattered pieces of his hope, and cut himself off from everything that reminded him of his failure. He turned off his phone, distanced himself from friends, and deleted social media. There was no more love, no more time to waste, only a stubborn resolve. "I will not fail this time." He woke up at 5 a.m., sat in study halls all day, and read until 2 a.m. He told his parents, If I don't get in this time, I won't take another breath. His eyes no longer held the sleep where dreams of Chloe used to live. Now there was only one dream. A white coat and a stethoscope hanging around his neck. A year passed. He didn't celebrate holidays, didn't answer calls from friends, and didn't face the questions of relatives. And then the day came. The MCAT results were out, and in a sea of millions of names, one name shone bright. Ethan Carter, with a top-tier score. Tears streamed from his eyes, but they weren't tears of weakness. They were the first rain after a year-long penance he had endured without any shelter. Years flew by. Ethan was now Dr. Ethan Carter, completing his residency at a major Chicago hospital. The very hospital where he had once promised himself he would return not as a failure, but as a success. He was now recognized in every department. Dr. Carter, a resident who was not only brilliant, but also knew how to speak to patients with compassion. His calm eyes, white coat, and confident walk now set him apart. Meanwhile, Chloe had completed her nursing degree and had gotten her first posting at a government-affiliated hospital in the same city. She had no idea that in the very same hospital, in the very same unit, Ethan was now a doctor. On her first day, Chloe was standing outside Ward 2 for orientation with other new nurses. A voice came from behind her. "Nurse, please check the patient's sugar levels." Chloe lifted her head, and standing before her was Dr. Ethan Carter. The same face, the same eyes, but now they didn't hold that old innocence. They held a shine that comes not just from wounds, but from the power to heal them. Chloe froze. Her body went stiff, and her mouth went dry. She couldn't believe that the man she had once told, "You're not good enough for me," was now standing with her in the same ward, as a doctor, leading her team. Ethan gave her a single glance and, with a professional smile, opened the file in front of him. No complaints, no shame, just the composure that only successful people carry. Chloe slowly backed away, realizing in that moment that some relationships don't return, and some distances become so vast that there's no room left even for an apology. Days turned into weeks. Chloe saw Ethan's success everywhere. She saw the respect other doctors gave him and the gratitude in the eyes of his patients. That tall, quiet doctor who gives you confidence just by looking at you. They would say, "That's Dr. Carter, right?" Every time Chloe heard this, a strange heat would rush to her cheeks. It wasn't shame. It was regret. One night, as Ethan was leaving the hospital after his shift, he found Chloe sitting on the steps outside. Her eyes were swollen, her face weary. Ethan glanced at her and started to walk past. "Ethan, 1 minute." Chloe's voice was broken. Ethan stopped. "I'm sorry." Tears streamed down her face. "I misunderstood you. I rejected you. And today, I can't forgive myself." Ethan looked at her. His face was calm, but a storm was raging inside his heart. "Chloe, you showed me my place, and I made that place my goal. I loved you. But now I've promised myself that I will never live in the shadow of anyone's favor again." Chloe kept crying. Ethan walked away without looking back. That night, standing on the hospital roof, Ethan looked at the sky and said to himself, "I'm a man now. Maybe I can get married. But this time, not for love, but for understanding." A few months later, Ethan's residency was ending. He went home to visit his parents. His father's eyes were filled with peace. He said, "Son, you've achieved everything. It's time to settle down." Ethan agreed, and this time, when he thought of marriage, Chloe's face didn't appear before him. He found a wonderful woman who was a teacher, someone who valued his kindness more than his title, someone who saw him, not his profession. The wedding invitations were sent out. One reached Chloe, One evening, as Ethan was leaving the hospital, Chloe was standing by the gate, holding that invitation. "Ethan," she said, stopping him. "Can I say something?" Ethan was silent. Chloe said softly, "The moment you forgave me without any complaint, that was the moment I first truly saw myself in the mirror. And I admitted that I was never worthy of you. I'm happy that you're happy, and I pray your home is always blessed." Ethan gave a slight nod. Then he said just one word: "Thanks." He walked away to his new life, his new responsibilities, and a peaceful smile. Chloe watched him go, a single tear escaping her eye. Because Ethan now belonged to someone else, and she was left with nothing. Her regret was now her life's companion. She knew that forgiveness can be given, but what is lost can never be regained. And a love that is left incomplete doesn't die. It just beats inside you for a lifetime, like a dull, persistent ache. Now, a question for all of you. Ethan simply forgave her and moved on, but he never gave her a place in his life again. Was he right? If you were in Ethan's place, would you have taken back a person like Chloe? Or would you have moved on, just like he did? Please comment below. Maybe your answer will help someone else understand the value of their love before it's too late. And if this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.